Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Spoken Greats podcast. Today we'll be continuing looking at Napoleon's Maxims of War and what lessons we can extract to modern warfare from it. Today I shall be drinking a 2019 Barbera d'Asti Superiore, $6.99 from Lidl. If you don't know anything about Barbera d'Asti, it's typically quite a light and fruity acidic red from the Piemonte region in northwest Italy. It's a very popular, cheap and cheerful table wine in northern Italy. There's not much to it, but please let me know in the comments what you're drinking today. Cheers. Yeah, not bad. For $6.99, I can't complain. I would say definitely not the most noteworthy wine I've ever tried, but for the price, very reasonable. So let's take a look at Maxims 63. Information obtained from prisoners should be estimated at its true value. The soldier barely sees beyond his company, and the officer can at most give an account of the position or the movements of the next higher unit to which his regiment belongs. Thus, for justifying his conjectures on a position occupied by the enemy, the Commander-in-Chief should take into consideration the admissions wrung from prisoners only when they tally with reports from the outpost. So Napoleon here is quite rightly picking up on the pitfalls of relying on information from prisoners. The obvious one that comes to mind is that quite simply they might just be lying. They could give you false information in order to lead you to an incorrect conclusion. Also, if you were to apply some kind of coercive interrogation techniques, or in layman's terms, torture, that's much more likely to produce whatever it is that you want to hear rather than necessarily the truth. If someone's being subject to torture, they're much more likely to just say the thing that's most likely to make the pain stop rather than necessarily tell you the truth. And also, you overestimate how much an individual is aware of what's going on. I mean, you can trace this to, even outside of military context, how much a businessman is actually aware of what's going on within their company, or a politician within their government department, or even, on the personal level, where how much is a person aware of what their spouse is doing. And so as you extract that to the higher level, it's much more improbable that that person is actually well aware of the intricate details of what other units are doing. And so you have to take the information with a pinch of salt. With that said, if you can find other sources of information to corroborate what it is that the prisoner has disclosed to you, then suddenly that information becomes a lot more credible. So this is Maxims 64. Nothing is more important in war than unity of command. Thus, when war is waged against a single power, there must be but one army, acting on one line and led by one chief. Absolutely, it's certainly a case of too many cooks spoils the broth when it comes to leadership. If you have leaders of an organization issuing conflicting direction, then that puts the troops in a very difficult position, because ultimately they're not going to disobey a superior unless the order is illegal. So by undermining the leadership, it makes the whole decision-making process convoluted. You duplicate effort, or you have efforts working towards opposing objectives, and it really just makes the whole machine a lot less efficient. And so you need to be able to have the need to challenge decisions and question whether, is this the right course of action? Have we considered other possibilities? But ultimately, the buck stops with the leader. And once the leader's taken that decision, after consulting the rest of their team, the team needs to implement that. As we've seen from previous Maxims, though, quite appears that Napoleon favours a more decisive form of leadership, and above all, rapidity of action and decisive action, as we'll see here with the next one, which is Maxim 65. If a commander seeks wisdom in debates and conferences, he must expect the result which... If a commander seeks wisdom in debates and conferences, he must expect the result which in all ages has followed such a course. He will end in coming to the worst possible decision, which, almost always in war, is the most pusillanimous, or if you wish, the most prudent. True wisdom for a general is in energetic determination. I would argue that this depends on the course of action that the commander chooses. This, I think, is where you can start to detect some of Napoleon's hubris. Now, you could argue that that hubris is warranted given his track record, but nevertheless, it's quite recognizable as hubris. Because if someone else were to take this advice and energetically make rapid decisions without consulting people who are well informed about the complexities of a situation, they're much more likely to lead their team into disaster. But they have it in their heads that, oh, well, a leader must be decisive and not answer to anyone else. And so this is the action I've decided, and this is what we're going with, because I don't want to look weak. I think there's a balance there between you can't run things through committee. You can't put everything to a vote and ask everybody for what's their opinion on things. But you also can't be operating in your own head. You can't just be making decisions with no one else to soundboard them off to sanity check them. And I think this point in particular is quite pertinent for the next one, which is, in war, the chief alone understands the importance of certain things, and he alone, by his will and his superior knowledge, can conquer and overcome all difficulties. Now, I do think that leaders can have a profound impact on the outcome. They can often be the most decisive. And, you know, we see that in everything. When a sports team loses the season, they fire the manager, don't they? They don't fire the whole team. They bring in new leadership. When a company is not performing, they fire the CEO. And whilst that's true, in terms of what he's saying here about that leaders can be crucial in overcoming certain difficulties, what I would object to here is about his superior knowledge. Now, what I alluded to a few minutes ago about you can't really be truly aware of everything going on in a war or within your army, organization, team, whatever. And so you need to consult others. And leaders are very rarely the one with the most superior knowledge. Elon Musk is not the most knowledgeable engineer at SpaceX. Sir Alex Ferguson was not the best footballer. And obviously Napoleon was not the best soldier. But leaders, what they can do is they recognize the talents of others and they employ them in the best way possible. And I think you can kind of let Napoleon off here with this advice purely based on his results. But I think that's quite a difficult line to tread because most advice is biographical. People give the advice most pertinent to their own circumstances and their own life because that's the point of reference that they have. And in the case of Napoleon here, if he'd been a less successful general, then this advice right here would seem a lot more arrogant and a lot more out of touch. But because of his outstanding success, he's kind of given a free pass here in being able to give this advice. And I think that is sometimes the case with high performers. They are given a pass on being an arsehole, or it's overlooked because they've got good results. Whether that's a special forces operator in the military, whether that's some kind of entrepreneur influencer online, whether it's a politician or an elite athlete, where the idea is kind of, well, they might be a bit of an arsehole, but by God, they get results. Now, the problem with this is that it's not replicable. You can't all be arseholes. And in the same way that you cannot assume that you're the most knowledgeable person in any given circumstance, it's very unlikely. And even if you are, you're almost certain to not have the full picture of everything that is going on. So maybe I'm interpreting this a little bit harshly, and Napoleon didn't mean it in this way, but that's this kind of sense that I'm getting from these past few passages, that there is a determination of strong, decisive leadership, and ultimately everyone else should not be challenging the leader. Moving on to 69, where, hey, there is only one honourable justification for being made a prisoner of war. That is to be taken separately when one can no longer use his arms. Then there are no conditions, for there can be none with honour. One is forced to surrender by absolute necessity. So Napoleon here is talking about the utility of fighting up until you physically cannot fight anymore. Because continued resistance, even against a superior force, can provide a significant inconvenience to the enemy, and even potentially offers a chance for some kind of preservation or chance to escape. Whereas in most cases, military units will surrender far before their capacity to fight is left. It's very rare for a unit to surrender when they've actually run out of ammo. If you look at any battle in history on Wikipedia, you'll see that there's still like a very large percentage of the force has survived a battle because they've fled, they've withdrawn, or they've surrendered. In most cases anyway, unless there's been some outlier massacre, troops will give up fighting long before you're reaching 90% dead or something horrific like that. There is something to be said, though, that needlessly throwing away troops in a last stand or sacrifice is quite a reckless thing to do with human life. But I think it's more the point he's trying to get at here is that through being more aggressive and assertive with your actions, you actually have a better chance of self-preservation. And to only surrender when there's no other option, he still accepts that because you've done everything you can do, and that's all you can do. So Maxims 70. The conduct of a general in a conquered territory is surrounded by pitfalls. If he is harsh, he irritates and increases the number of his enemies. If he is mild, he kindles expectations, which bring out all the more the abuses and vexations inseparable from war. A conqueror should know how to employ in turn severity, justice, and leniency, either to calm sedition or to prevent it. Occupations are incredibly messy. People don't take kindly to foreign soldiers on their streets, and inevitably there's going to be a quite harsh in terms of cultural understandings, linguistic, religious, political, however you want to frame it. But ultimately, the bottom line is that you're a foreign invader. And this is why many occupying militaries try to employ locals to give a certain legitimacy to their authority. So maybe they'll set up a puppet government or some kind of governance. So they'll use local nationals as the police force to enforce law and order, because that feels because the optics seem better than if they were doing it themselves. But ultimately, the original objection to being occupied is always going to be there, and so it's always going to be an antagonizing factor. So it's a very sensitive operation to conduct. Okay, so this is a good one. I'm going to paraphrase it because it's quite a beefy maxim, but it's a noteworthy one. This is number 72. So, a commander-in-chief is not exonerated for mistakes in war by order of his sovereign or the minister. He alone is responsible. If he's given superior orders to give battle, knowing that he's going to lose, he is guilty for it. He should refuse to obey the order. And the justification he gives for this is that a military order should only be fully obeyed when the superior commander is also present in the theatre of war when he gives it. If the general does not understand an order, he should refuse to obey it. And ultimately, he says here that the responsibility lies with the general and not the politician or the leader. I find that interesting because Napoleon obviously combined military and civilian leadership in his role as Emperor of France. And I'm not particularly a Napoleon history buff. I just read some books. But I do wonder how Napoleon himself dealt with disobedience from subordinates. If he were to give an order, let's say, for example, in the Peninsular campaign in Spain, how would he have reacted to if one of his commanders disobeyed his orders? I don't know. If you know in the comments, if you're a little bit more knowledgeable on Napoleonic history, please let me know. But yeah, I do find this one an interesting one because obviously it's ingrained in the military to obey orders unless it's an illegal order. But here, Napoleon is effectively advocating for disobey an order if it doesn't make any sense. The person giving out the order is not present or fully aware of all the facts on the ground. So I do wonder if he would follow his own advice here. It's an interesting one to think about. But you see it a lot with passing the buck in conflicts. The political leadership will blame the military leadership for a failing operation, but they will be ultimately, the politicians will be the one that will take the credit if it goes well. And alternatively, you see a lot of generals, once they retire and receive their honours and their final salary pension, then they will go on to criticise the government and undermine it, which has begged the questions. Well, you were more than happy to go along with these orders whilst you were in power. You didn't feel strongly enough about it to resign, which is what Napoleon advocates for here. If a commander finds himself in a position where he fundamentally disagrees with an order, he should resign. But you don't see that very often. People resigning on principle. It's kind of an increasingly rare thing these days to see people resign on principle. I do wonder why that is. Is it a weaker sense of shame or social pressure? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. So what have we got here? Maxim 73. The quality for a commander-in-chief is a cool head which he receives a just impression of things. He should not allow himself to be confused by either good or bad news. So Napoleon here highlights a very important quality, and it's easier said than done because ultimately I don't think human beings are rational. We like to think we are. We like to think that other people do things because they are being manipulated or brainwashed or they're just reacting to things. But no, not me. I am a rational person and I I think through things carefully, and I know the reason why I do the things that I do. It's a bit of cope, isn't it? We're not rational, and it's incredibly hard to be objective about things all the time. And it's very hard to detach emotion from outcomes. And so obviously there's going to be an optimism bias in planning for things. You're going to want a certain outcome. And so you're going to look for things which support a conclusion that that outcome is likely. And so being able to objectively look at things and not attach any kind of emotion to it, but purely look at it, things as they are, is an incredibly underrated skill, and it's one very few people possess. And this is not just a case in warfare. It's going to apply to other things such as investing. If you look at someone like Warren Buffett, he's not spent a lifetime jumping up and down to the fluctuations in the market and overreacting to the new headline that week of a recession or a company going bust. He's made a career out of playing the long game and looking at things as they are without overreacting. So I think staying calm is a really underrated quality, and it's something that we should try and pursue more. I think it's something you can look at in yourself. Try and catch yourself in a moment where you feel yourself being consumed by anger, or you're flooded with some other kind of emotion. Maybe it's anxiety. And often these things are stuck in your head. And once you actually observe them and notice that they're there, they kind of diminish, but they don't diminish until you acknowledge that they're there. And so when you actually like question yourself and look at, why is it that I'm taking this course of action? Is it actually because of some ulterior motive that I've not even considered myself? Am I hiding it from myself? You might not like the answer you get, but it will be a more truthful one. And then once you come to terms with that, you can then formulate a more objective approach. Still not perfect. I still think we are fundamentally irrational actors. And so it's a continuous struggle. So this is Maxim 74. To know the map well, to understand the function of reconnaissance, to attend the dispatching of orders, to present with simplicity the most complicated movements of an army. These are the things that distinguish an officer qualified to be chief of staff. So it's going back to terrain again, isn't it? Knowing the map well. If you understand the terrain, you already know most of the viable outcomes that are possible for either you or the enemy to do. And if you understand how the terrain can be used to your advantage, you are fundamentally ahead of the enemy. Understanding reconnaissance, it's not about what you see, it's about what you don't see, and also what's the significance of what you've seen. It's not about reporting, oh, we saw these tanks here, or we saw this unit operating there. Well, so what? You know, what are they trying to do there? Is this a flanking maneuver? Is this a decoy? What's going on here? What are the enemy trying to do? If you're asking these questions, then you're starting to understand reconnaissance a bit better. To understand dispatching of orders, to present with simplicity. So, yeah, keep it simple, stupid. There's a lot of moving parts in a military operation, and the simpler that you can condense orders to, the more straightforward form that you can present orders in, the more likely it is that it will be executed properly. Because in complexity, you have more things that can go wrong. So this is Maxim 75. It is the duty of the General of Artillery to know the operations of the army as a whole, since he is obliged to furnish arms and ammunition to the different divisions of which it is composed. His contact with the artillery commanders at the outpost should make him conversant with all the movements. His contact with the artillery commanders at the outposts should make him conversant with all the movements of his army. The handling of his main artillery park should depend on this information. Artillery is a supporting arm, fundamentally. Its role is to fix and suppress the enemy to such a point that the armour and infantry can manoeuvre into a position where they can assault the enemy, where they can close and kill with the enemy. And so by having a wider awareness of what other formations are doing, the artillery is then best suited to support those main efforts. Also, it's then ensuring that there's sufficient ammunition for that. Artillery bombardments are incredibly costly in terms of shells if you want to effectively provide overwhelming firepower. And having an overall awareness of the entire army's operations gives the artillery commander the bigger picture in which he's operating in. So he knows that, this division is going to need a greater supply of 105 millimeters or counter battery fire. Another one is looking for deep strike capability. So they're looking for a HIMARS or whatever, something more targeted to attack enemy command centers. Once you know what it is that your side is trying to achieve, you can support it in the best way. And this is usually the case of in leadership. You don't tell people how to do something, you tell them why you're doing it. They will find out the best way to achieve it. But once they know why they're doing it, they will be more invested in the outcome and they will look for the best way to do it. Right, so I think we'll leave it there for today. Thank you for listening once again. If you like the podcast, please like the video and hit the subscribe button. I'll be returning again soon to carry on with the rest of the Maxims of War. See you soon.